What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about ability upgrades. Everything related to ability upgrades, the most efficient way to farm them. What are your top priorities for ability upgrades? What to expect with them as you're going into higher levels. And we're going to break that all down in today's video. If you guys do find this video helpful or informative, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And let's dive right into it. So, ability upgrades, they are a significant part of upgrading your roster, and what you need to know, number one, is that they will get expensive at higher levels. You can see, for example, here, going from level 3 to level 4 on this ability is 36,000 gold. But if you go and look at something a little bit simpler, let's say Halberd, because I've got ability levels all over for him. His leadership, the first level is going to be 6,000 gold. Okay, that's not bad. But then you go into, for instance, his ultimate here, going up to level 4 on it is going to be 50,000 gold. This is going to get expensive. So a big part of upgrading your abilities is making sure, number one, you've got the ability materials farmed up, but number two is you got to set aside some gold for this, which is not easy these days because there's a real gold crunch going on with this game, which hopefully we get fixed here soon. But this is something that is going to be expensive, and it seems that the ultimate ability is going to be the most expensive thing for you to upgrade. The special, a little bit cheaper, and the basics are going to be cheaper than that. And in terms of the ability material cost, you can see as well the ultimate is going to cost a little bit more, especially for these rare ability materials. A level 4 on the ultimate is going to cost 40 here for Halberd, but while on his special, it's only 35 rare ability materials. So, yeah, you can already see that depending on what ability you're going to upgrade, there's going to be varies in cost, varies in the amount of materials required for it. So you have to keep that all in mind when you're going into upgrading these abilities. And talking about the best way to farm them, what I have pretty much done is in the guild battles, I'm just sitting here at 3-1 and I'm just simming this. Now, eventually when I get up to level high enough to unlock chapter 4 on the guild battles, I will go up to level 4 and start farming 4-1. Pretty much all I do, buy some guild energy refreshes here. We're gonna sim 20 battles here. We get a couple here. This is one of the worst ones in terms of payout. Usually I get a little bit more per 100 battles or per 20 battles. But yeah, it's gonna vary. And also, it's a nice way to also get gold too. Gold battle or guild battles seem to be the best way to get gold. So if you have the gems to spare, guild battles are pretty good at farming gold, and it's really the only way you can farm up ability materials as well. Now you can do the challenges, but those are rough. But once you get your roster going up high enough, you will be able to get through those without too much of an issue. And you'll need attacker and support characters for it. And as you go up the tiers, not too bad. One thing that's really interesting is here at tier 6, it only gives rare ability materials, which is a shame because you're going to go through a lot of uncommon ability materials. And common, eventually you can see I'm starting to stockpile a good number of commons. But yeah, even then, you're talking 3 times a week you're going to get this challenge. And that's going to come out to basically at tier 5. If you complete tier 5, you're going to pretty much get 45 a week from Wondrous abilities, which is not bad. But in the long run, I'm getting a lot more from the guild battles. But I'm also doing several refreshes on guild battle energy at the same time. So it's you're gonna have to farm things up. So attacker and support characters, we can go over that at least real quick for the challenges. In terms of attackers, I mean you've got Mauher, who you use for the dark or the shadow legendary or shadow campaign. Aomer I use for the light campaign, and Strider as well. So there's 3 attackers there, and if you go and look at support, one support I know off the top of my head right away is going to be Lady Aowen. Yeah, Aowen's great. Pippin, not bad. Mary and Pippin, better off with synergy with each other. But if I have to bring in one or the other, I'm probably going to bring in Pippin, just because he gets a little more, he gets some healing with the team, and you're going to need that for challenges. So you do want some healing there on the team. There's really no other support character here that does give healing. So yeah, it's your roster's kind of limited in that aspect. That's why I do like Pippin for that Wondrous Abilities challenge, at least. So yeah, Wondrous ability challenges and the guild battles. Those are the only real ways to farm up ability materials. You can get some in quests as well. Like you can see here, as you go through campaign missions, you will get some. Not a lot, but you do get a decent amount from this. So, you know, keep an eye on your quests as well. Make sure you're completing those too, so you can get those ability materials as well. Now, in terms of what's most important to upgrade on your team, the number one, you need to prioritize who you're using in Arena. So let's say, hypothetically, I'm using Eowyn, Eothane, Halbarad, Strider, and Gaz. So I need to know which characters on there. Number one, usually the leader is probably the most important, but for Lady Eowyn, I'm going to say that's not as important as some of the others. And this is something I shouldn't have done. I did take this up to level 4, and now that I'm not using a really good Rohan squad with her, I'm not really doing that. Now, if you're using Eowyn, or if you're using the Rohan trio, you can get some use out of this, but without Eomer on the team, you really lose a lot of power. This Eomer does call assist. He can assist on his own. And you do get some counters with Eowyn as well. And you also get that with Eothane, but if you're not using a full Rohan squad, there's not a lot of Rohan members on that team. So you're not getting a huge return on this crit chance here. However, one thing I do think is really important is granting the might to random allies. Like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that anyways because I've got the gold for it. But you know, this is the kind of ability that you're going to get a lot of use out of. Like, for instance, level 2 here calls the ally with the highest damage to assist. Like, that's as for a relatively cheaper upgrade. That's pretty good because you're getting some free damage out of it. And you know, obviously, if you're using a Rohan squad team, then yeah, that's even better with her lead there. But yeah, that's an easy, simple one. And, you know, as you're going up, you're getting more might to more random allies, and might will increase the damage by 50%. So this is a pretty good one to consider. Ones that I'm not so high on are flat damage increase, like this, like plus 20% damage. Okay, cool. But I'm looking more for ones that have secondary effects on them, or have buffs or debuffs on them. So for instance, level 2 inflicts disabled for 1 turn to the target enemy. That's really good. That's an ability block. Like, that's really good. You want that. So this is an easy choice for level 2. But also, do I want to go all the way up to level 6 here for some nice damage, but also additional damage per being cleansed? Is that really something I want to go for? You know, that's kind of the issue. And same thing here. Like, yeah, on turn gain counterattack with her passive. But if I'm not using a full Rohan squad, I'm not going to really get good use out of the level 6 ability here. When a Rohan ally is affected with a Bane, gain 5% turn meter. So that's the kind of thing you have to look for, is what kind of team am I running, and kind of plan ahead for the future as well. That's a big thing with prioritizing your ability upgrades. I mean, I'm not running a Rohan trio with her, so I'm not going to get a huge use out of this. Now, if I was running a full Rohan squad, like, this would probably be really good. Like, that's 7.5% turn meter when a Rohan ally is inflicted with a Bane. Or sorry, no, I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. So it's 2.5, but it's going to be 5% if a Rohan ally is inflicted with a Bane. So, you know, if I'm running a full Rohan squad, yeah, I can get some use out of this. But if I'm not, what's the point of going up to level 6 here? That's what I'm talking about here. And same thing with this. If I'm just using Eowyn with a team that has no Rohan members on it, is this really worth upgrading the leadership at that point? It's all based on what you're getting out of it. So yeah, again, flat damage here on all these. Not going to really worry about these. Always gain defensive on the basic here. That's pretty good. I'd go for that. So let's talk about the other side with, let's say for instance, Eothane. Where's Eothane? Eothane. There he is. Okay. So we talked about buffs. Let's talk about debuffs. So here, always inflict expose on level 2. Fantastic. Lovely. Great. I only have to go up to level 4 to make that a 2-turn expose. That's pretty good. That's I can go for that. I mean, he can be called to assist. He can also counter, but he uses his basic on somebody. That's a 2-turn expose. So even if the enemy moves right after Eothane attacks, they still have expose on them for a whole other turn. That's not bad. I like that. Here, with the with Sentinel's stance, Yeah, I mean, a little bit more turn meter. You're not talking a huge amount, and considering how much this is going to be, how much this is going to cost to upgrade, that additional little bit of turn meter, it's not going to make a huge difference for you in arena. So is this one you really want to be focusing on? I don't know. I'm up in the air on that one. Here, show of strength, level 2, counterattack for 3 random allies. Not bad, but I have to go up to level 6, which means I have to dump, what, 100 to 200,000 gold on this and a crap ton of ability materials to go from 3 random allies to all allies. So basically 2 more allies at that point. Is that really worth it? And then his passive. You're talking some minor health upgrades, which, yeah, in the long run will stack up. But again, 100 to 200,000 gold on those. Do I really want to invest in those? So that's what I'm really talking about here is, if you're looking for flat damage upgrades, go for your characters that are going to do a lot of damage. Like, for instance, Gaz Ironhide. Or, for instance, Strider. Where's Strider at? Strider, really good at dealing damage. His Heroic Charge, level 4, turns into a 4-turn cooldown. That's really good. That's a good priority there, because you're getting a lot of damage with him already out of this. So, that's not bad. Right now, Burn the Shadows, not important, because you're not facing any Nazguls. Eventually, when we get Witch King in the Nazgul team, yeah, this could be decent against them, but I highly doubt that's going to be a big counter. This here, pretty good. If you're running with a team that likes to throw out debuffs, this basic gonna do a lot of damage. It shreds right now. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is you have to be situational about what you're doing with you have to consider the situation of what you're doing with these upgrade abilities. So yeah, that's really the best advice I can give, is if you're looking to upgrade damage, focus on your damage dealers. If you're looking for better buffs, consider the situation. Do you want to spend 200,000 gold to get a couple more allies a counterattack buff? Do you want to spend, or would you rather spend like 20,000 gold and get might on another ally that's going to increase their damage by 50% for the next turn? That's really where you want to go with what to consider here. So that's really where I'm going to wrap things up here. Overall, make sure you're farming them up. Guild battles, best way to farm them up besides the wondrous abilities. And, prioritize your arena team and then focus on your campaign squads after that. So, like for me, I've got Isengard with Gaz and Miraz. So, focus on abilities that are going to help really with your team. Like, yeah, for instance, you're probably running Ugluk, level 3 on his leadership here for that 2.5% healing. And that's really as far as I'm going to worry about it for now, because I don't really need to worry about anything else on that leadership. And yeah, there's really nothing else for me to say at this point. If you guys do have questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas, make sure to drop them down below in the comment section. Again, if you guys have enjoyed this video, you found it helpful or informative, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.